So come on in and let's get busy. Ask your questions. Who's shopping for a car right now? Come on in. Ask your questions. If you're shopping for a car right now, I want to just go through questions today. That's the mission. Questions, okay? I don't care if you have a question about new cars, used cars, leases, whatever it is you don't understand about car shopping, come on in, ask the question. Thanks, Joe. I see you sharing. Thank you for sharing this broadcast, y'all. It means a lot. We are reaching more and more people daily, so we can't do it without you. But come on, send your questions. After you hit the share button, after you tag a friend, send the question in, and let's get busy. I just want to see how many questions we could get through today in today's show. All right, let me look all around. We got to give people a chance on TikTok and on YouTube and Facebook. Takes time for the live to show up there. Should lease your first car? If you're not keeping your car 8 years, you should lease. Because, give you an example. Let's say you could afford $400 a month, right? You could afford $400 a month. That only gets you about 20 grand on your first car. That's about a $20,000 loan. Now, what could you get for 20 grand? Not many used cars. You get a used car for 20 grand. I mean, you can't get a new car for 20 grand, but you get a couple used cars for 20 grand. So do you want to drive a used car for 20 grand, or do you want to lease a brand new car for $400 a month? You could lease with a great deal, you could lease about a $35,000 car for $400 a month. So that's the choice you make, okay? Unless you're going to keep your car long term. I would absolutely lease my first car if you don't want to have any problems with maintenance, you want to get the most car for your money. But if you're going to keep a car long term, which you probably won't because it's your first car, but if you're going to keep it long term, then buy it. Very, very simple. Leasing short term versus long term. Many people should be buying or should be leasing their children their first car, not purchasing. Hold on, let me get my banner up. Let's get the questions in. All right, let's go. Come on, y'all. We got to type fast today. Send these questions. Need to buy my daughter a car before she goes to college. Budget 20 grand. What kind? Listen, that's what we were just talking about. There's a lot of, all right, so if I had 20, why did you pick the number 20,000? You paying cash? If you're paying cash, now you decide what car does she need? What's the needs? If you say, all right, she only needs a small car, then look at the small cars and make your choice. Do you want new or do you want pre-owned? But if it's 20 grand, you're probably not going to get new. So you're looking at a pre-owned car. There's lots of pre-owned cars out there, but is this something that you think she's going to keep? Is this something you think she's going to keep? You got to be honest. If she's not going to keep that car, why take 20 grand out your family's bank account and put her in a car, a used seat? And who's seen first time? Look, if you have seen, or if maybe it happened to you, your first car had a bunch of problems when you were a child. Maybe it was broke because it's a used car. It could be, hey, I'm out at college and my car is 6-7 years old. The car just, stopped on me. Whatever. That's what comes with it sometimes. Now you're weighing that against, should I lease her something? Because if I lease her something, I could put her in a brand new $35,000 or $30,000 car. The same car that would have, I could put her in that car and I could pay $350 a month. So I could take 20 grand out my bank account, put it in the car, or I could pay $350 a month, put her in a brand new car. But if you're going to do a $20,000 budget and you're adamant on buying, then I would just be looking at the best car I could get for 20 grand. But you got to look at what class she needs. Does she need a sedan, 4-door? Does she need an SUV? Does she need you know what I'm saying? So you got to narrow it down to the needs first. But if you really want to save money, you think about leasing versus purchasing her first car. Should I buy my lease because cars are very expensive? Jonas, if you shop around, they're not. If you shop around, y'all, I know a lot of people are discouraged saying, man, should I buy my lease? Because, cars are not expensive when you shop around. Don't go. If you go into one dealer, they might tell you anything. They might tell you these cars are $600 a month. Meanwhile, the dealer on the other side of town doing those same cars for $450. So before you say a car is expensive, do me one favor. Get 4 offers. Whatever car that you shopped and you said, this seems expensive, take that car. I want you to go on Google, whatever brand it is. If it's Nissan, type in Nissan dealers near me. I want you to call each one and ask for the sales manager. And I want you to say, hey, this is what I'm looking at. I went to Nissan of such and such. This is what they quoted me. I'm going to give you an opportunity as well. Can you get me a price of what you could do? If you do that with a sales manager 5 times, you're going to see how different the prices are. And now, if all 5 of them seem expensive, now that car could have a bad deal. That car might be a bad deal. Doesn't mean all cars are a bad deal, but before you rule a car as expensive, you must get 5 offers, because the dealer you went to might be expensive. Not the car, the dealer. Some dealers, I usually call about 70, 80% are overpriced. That means someone else would blow their price away. You got to get to them. All right, let's go. Come on, I want to get through as many questions as possible. Type your questions. Let's keep it rolling. If y'all don't know, my book is out. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's a digital book, 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. You could get it in my TikTok bio. You're not going to leave the broadcast. You could get it in my Instagram bio. You're not going to leave the broadcast, or you can scan the QR code or go to deshawnsbook.com. It's 75% off for the next 30 minutes while you're on the broadcast. All right, waiting for Toyota Stout pickup to be released, I'm guessing. Looking for a mid-size pickup in the $25,000 range. I'm guessing that when you guys pull these numbers out for your budget, it's something that you're paying cash for. So if it's something you're paying cash for, because other than that, these numbers don't really matter. If you're getting a loan, these numbers don't matter as much, because, you know, $25,000 tax monthly. So if you're paying cash, I'm going to assume you're paying cash. Then what you're going to do is you're going to open up all the marketplaces. I assume you're going to go used. If you go used, you're going to open up all the marketplaces. And I'm going to list them for y'all. The reason why it's important that you don't get committed to one marketplace is because they all have different inventory. So I want you to picture from now on, when you're shopping for a used car, think about it like this. Car Gurus, that's Walmart.com. Auto Trader, that's Amazon.com. Cars.com, that's, you know, Alibaba, something. Every marketplace may have similar inventory. They may have some overlap, but they definitely have their own independent inventory. Which is why when we shop, when we shop for a used car, you want to have all the marketplaces open. And then you want to put in your request, pick up trucks, and then you want to sort your price by lowest to highest. Lowest to highest. Open up all the marketplaces, create an account, put your email in, create an account, because what happens when you create an account? Who knows what happens who knows what you can do on a used car marketplace when you create an account? You can get automatic notifications of new inventory the second it hits the marketplace. That's what you want. So you're going to open the marketplaces, create accounts, put in your list of what you're looking for, and you're going to now, so I would go 100 miles out. I'd go 100 miles out to start, and then I look at them, and I want to see that list. And here's the first thing you want to do. The name of this segment is called How to Get Below Market Car Prices. Below market. You didn't get a deal if you paid fair market value. That's just not a deal in my opinion. That's average. Fair market means average price. Above market value means you overpaid. As long as we talk, and as long as I'm the one that you want to learn from, you want Deshaun to teach you how to get cars, below market is the only thing we care about. Below market. So in order for us to get below market, we got to know what the market is. So I want you to sort on all those marketplaces from low to high, and then look at the low side of the market. Now you're going to ask yourself, can I find a car? Hey, Lisa, good to see you. Now, when you look at the low side of the market, most of those cars are going to be trash. That's okay. What do I mean by trash? Bad Carfaxes, salvage titles, frame damage, total lost vehicles, multiple accidents. That's okay. I'm playing in that side of the market because I know the closer I get to that price, that's where my deal is. That's where my deal is. I'm not interested in what's going on up here. So when you have the alerts on and you know what the low side of the market is, the minute a car hits, we can actually hop on it. There is a step after that. We got to check Carfax. We got to check Carfax and go down. There's a process. Once we do that, we move to looking at the Carfax reports, making sure the history is great. And I mean history, the type of title. We don't want salvage. We don't want rentals. Not as our first choice. Rentals not our first choice. I know some of you may be wondering, Deshaun, should I buy a rental? Not your first choice. Not your first choice. You want that to be, okay, I looked at everything and the rental ended up being the best value, so I got it. And it had a great history and all of that. Type of title. Then we move to service records. Then we move to accident records. Then we have to verify there's no bogus fees. Because some of y'all, you've seen, they'll put a nice price up there to try to grab our attention, but they're going to slap 3,000 or 4,000 of bogus fees, and they want you to just come to the dealership. They want you to just say, hey, look at this car. It's a good price. Let me get in my car, drive there. Don't do that. Look at that price. When you're narrowing it down, we always call. We verify fees. There's no bogus fees. Now we're on our way. But if I'm scouting a pickup truck like you just, the question you just asked, any used car, I'm watching that market. I know what the low side of the prices are, and I'm waiting for the right opportunity. It might be there the minute I pop up on the marketplace, or it might come as an alert. Here's the beautiful thing about alerts, and then keep typing in questions because I told you I want to try to get through as many questions in this segment as I can. Shout out to everybody who shared. I appreciate y'all helping me spread this message. So when you get, when I'm looking at that, if I know the low side of the market, when most other people don't, the minute I get an email, this new pickup truck just hit a marketplace, I look at it, I look at the service records, I look at the accident history, I verify what the price was and it was new, boom, no bogus, I'm on my way. Because everyone else is going to hesitate because they don't know the market. When you know the market on a used car because you've been watching it, you hop in, you grab it, you got that car locked up before anybody really even knew it hit the market. That's what you want. That's what you want. I go into that in detail. I tried to really give you a detailed overview just now. That's all in my book. That's called my multiple marketplace strategy. It's in step 5 of of my book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 steps saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. Get your copy. If you want the detailed strategy, go to my TikTok bio, grab your copy, 75% off for the next 30 minutes, or go to my Instagram bio. All right, let's keep the questions going. Good morning. Scenario: $15,000 vehicle. How much down payment with credit under 600? So it sounds like, if credit's under 600, you're not controlling your own financing, which is sometimes tough. It is tough because you got to make sure that they don't manipulate the financing. Anybody on here who has a credit score in that low 600 and under range, this is what you got to be aware of. Okay. What you're trying to do is you're trying to just be penalized with interest. Let me go more into detail. When you don't have good credit, you should be comfortable saying I'm going to pay more interest. But what the industry does is they want to make you not just pay more interest, you're going to pay more for the car. You're going to pay more for the car. You're going to pay bank fees. Now, not only are you buried from the interest, but the same car that somebody with good credit could have came in and got for 18, you ain't getting for 18. You're going to pay 21 for it. So this is how they dig you into a deeper hole. And if you allow it, you're digging yourself into a deeper hole. So you have to separate your car purchase from your loan. This is what everyone does. This is what everyone who's learning from me and everyone who's into financial literacy is going to do. But when you have bad credit, it's harder to do. So you have to be more diligent to not mix up the price of the car with your loan. So what you need to establish is, what am I paying for the car? And you need to verify beyond anything that that's a good price. How do you do that? The same way I just laid it out for you, and using my multiple marketplace strategy. You rewind, watch the last 3 minutes, 4 minutes. That's how you make sure the car itself is a below market price. Now, once you have that below market price, it's this young lady said, Miss Smith said the car's $15,000. $15,000, is that a great price for that car? Forget the loan. Step 2 is the loan. Step 1's the car price. So before, see, we're mixing those two in this question. Let's make sure that the car is priced the right way first, because I'm telling you what you're up against. Y'all are trying to overcharge me for the car and kill me on interest too. I'll let you get the interest because that's my fault. I don't have the credit. I'm supposed to pay more interest than someone with good credit. But what I'm not going to let you do is put me in a car that's $3,000 over what I could get it for from another source. So let's just assume, Ms. Smith, you've done the check. You're going to do that homework. You check those websites. The car is a great price. Now let's talk about the loan. What are you charging me? What's my interest rate? What's my interest rate? Now, once you have the interest rate, you go to an auto loan calculator and you plug that thing in. Here's the simple estimate. Every $5,000 is how much per month? First person that says it, you got a free copy of my book. Every $5,000 on a loan is about how much per month, y'all? Every $5,000. I'm looking on all the platforms. All right. Oh, King Divine, DM me. A lot of people came in. King Divine, you got it first. DM me. I'll send you a free copy of the book. If you got the book already, I'll refund you for the book. Everyone else, you can get it at 75% off. This is the kind of stuff I do. This is why you got to be engaged through the whole broadcast. All right. So when you are looking at the price of the car, if you know that car is 15 grand, I want you to always assume a 5-year loan first. Yes, people go 6 years. Yes, people go 7 years, which I would never recommend you ever go 7 years. That's like a 40-year mortgage. But yes, they'll do it, but you want to assume 5 years, because if you get the same payment for 5 years as 6 years, you save money. $300 a month for 5 years is different than $300 a month for 6 years. So whenever you look at a car, I want you to take that $5,000 and say, okay, if this car is $15,000, this should cost me about $300 a month. Now we have my interest. That's going to be, if my interest rate is 10 points higher than normal, or is several percentage higher, then that's going to go up. But that's something you can type into Google, auto loan calculator. Put that price of the car in, put that interest rate in. And what you're going to find most times is it's not the interest they're trying to kill you with. It's the price of the car, Miss Smith. That's the big thing. They kill people with bad credit and they overcharge you for the car itself. Somebody with good credit could come in and snatch that car for less. So take care of the price of the car first. The rest will usually work out, and you just verify it. When you look at that daggone buyer's order, it shouldn't be a bunch of stuff on there you don't recognize. It should be the price of the car, tax, documentation fee, DMV, motor vehicles. If you see a bunch of other stuff on there, get the heck out of there. And we don't even go there before we verify fees. But being that you found the car, we'll never go to a dealership. If you listen to how I'm telling you to do it, you shouldn't be in a dealership before you verify the fees. But sometimes people stumble onto a car lot, find a car, and they're excited about it. Then they find out, oh, shoot, they got all these fees. Got to get out of there. Don't pay. Don't try to negotiate with them. You can't negotiate fake fees. Because even if you take off some fees, you're back at the original price. I didn't get a deal. You get what I'm saying? That's why we always verify these people with fake fees before we come out of our house. All right, dealers increase your monthly payment if you go for a shorter loan. Also, isn't it bad to go to multiple dealers because they all run your credit? No one runs our credit. Okay, Malik, from now on, you never let someone run your credit until you're ready to purchase something. Until you've agreed to purchase something. Remember that, y'all. Nobody runs your credit. Listen, not only have I bought at least probably 10 cars in my lifetime, I've helped thousands of people do this. No one runs your credit until you have agreed to buy something. What does that mean? I've seen a car, I've agreed, I know what the price is, Let's go. Next step is my credit. We don't do that to get quotes. We don't do that to get estimated about how much is that going to cost me. I need to run your credit. No, we don't do that. And if you keep what I'm telling you in mind about estimate, now if you get the book, it's all in the book, very detailed. If you watch the videos and you watch them enough, you'll eventually get it because it's the same thing I'm saying. I'm not going to change the principles I'm teaching you. $5,000 on a loan is this much. If you know what this is different for leases. Leases, we get lease quotes. That's where you got to get multiple quotes, which doesn't require running your credit. Y'all know what I say. If anybody says we need to run your credit, you tell them assume tier 1. Assume, remember those 3 words. Assume tier 1. Tier 1 means good credit. Not super credit, good. 680, 700, 725. Like most people are going to qualify for tier 1. You don't need to be an 850 score to qualify for tier 1. The reason why it's important that you, bad credit, good credit, wonderful credit, always see the quote and the offers with tier 1 is because if you don't have good credit, when the quote adjusts for your credit, when the price changes, you need to see how much it changed. If you got a 600 score and we just told you it's going to be $490 a month, tier 1. Then we come back and say we ran your credit and it's $580. It's $100 more. Okay, you can see that difference. When you don't see it with good credit and you just let them run your credit, then give you the quote, they're going to jack that joint up so high, you'll never know what it was with good credit. So you always shop. You always want to know, what would this be with good credit? What would this be tier 1? Never let anybody run your credit to give you an offer because now you're hooked in. You got a hard inquiry. You're hooked in. They took away your ability to shop multiple offers because now you think in order to shop multiple offers, I got to let everybody run my credit. You can't shop the market. They've limited you. Never let anybody run your credit before you agree to purchase something. Very valuable info. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Smith. Appreciate you. Let's go. I told you I'm trying to get through as many questions this segment as possible. Let's keep sending them. I'm going to try to answer them as quick as possible. For those of you who just came in, could you please, if you share good information and you consider this to be good, can you please share this with somebody? You could either tag them. Tell everybody you know, too. Tell everybody you know. This guy, Deshaun, follow his channel. He does these live shows. He comes in, he's trying to set people free and make sure that you save all the money you can, and you should be saving when you purchase or lease cars. Yep, I know what you mean, man. Malik said, wow, I thought they had to run your credit first. I understand, man. Many people have been convinced that they cannot get a quote or an offer from dealerships without having their credit run. It is not necessary. Thanks, King Divine. Appreciate you. Oh, I gave him a free book. He done won a free book. Now he's going to give me some of the blessings back with all of these gifts he's sending. Appreciate you. All right, let's go. Come on, send them in. I had 2 payments left on my lease, and the sales guy told me that the dealership would pay those last 2 payments for me if I got into a new lease with them. Can dealerships really eat those losses? Great question. Most times the answer is no. Here's what they're doing. Who's had a dealership call and say, we'll get you out of your car, we'll take care of the remaining payments, come on in? Who's had a dealership either call or send them an email saying, come on in, we'll take care of your remaining payments, don't worry about your, hey, I got 3 payments left, don't worry, we can take care of that, we'll eat those payments. What they're doing, I see a lot of people who've had it. That's a very common call, very common email. What they're doing is if you see, there's something called a payment waiver. Payment waiver I've never seen for a competitor brand. So if you have a Honda, I've never seen Ford say, come in with your Honda payments and we'll waive them. I have occasionally seen a loyalty waiver where if you lease the same brand, they will say we're waiving 2 or 3 or 1, 6, whatever it may be, payments. But more often than not, what's happening is, and if you want to write them back and you want to just end those phone calls and you want to find out stuff quick. See, I want to give y'all stuff where you could get to things quick. You could get to results very fast without wasting any time. Just ask them, do you have a payment waiver? Do you have a payment waiver? Now, that's going to put them back because they're going to say, if they know what that means. But those who don't have a payment waiver, which means they're taking those 2 or 3 or 1 or 5 payments you have left and they're building them into your next deal, which is not a good deal, because if you didn't have those payments remaining, you could have gotten a better overall deal. But because they want you to be anxious and pay another, they'll say, okay, well, you'll pay another 30, 40 bucks a month to get out early, but overall it's still a good deal because you got a new car. But what they're doing is rolling those payments over. If they have a payment waiver, if I ever called a customer and I said, hey, Mr. Jones, I can get you out of your lease early because we just got this special program. If they say, hey, is there a payment waiver? I would say, yes, there is. Mercedes will waive 3 of your remaining payments if you release another Mercedes. Not with us, because here's the thing, remember this, dealerships don't have special programs. Those programs are regional. So it's always competition. It's always, I'm going to make people compete. Don't believe anything. Oh, we have a military program. No, every dealer in that region has a military program that has the same thing. That's why we can shop competitors very confidently, because we know y'all all have the same thing to work with. Y'all all have access to similar cars, same cars, and you'll all have the same program. You don't have anything special that this Jeep dealer doesn't have, so I'm going to make y'all compete. So if somebody has a payment waiver, that's different. That means you're not putting your remaining payments into your new car lease. Those payments are disappearing. But most times, they're not. They're putting them in your new lease, which means it's better off for you waiting until you have 1 payment left to start shopping. And here's what you do, y'all. You wait till you got 1 payment left, start shopping the market, because you could extend your lease for free. You pay tax on the additional payment, but you could extend your lease to buy another month or 2 if you want. You call, tell your leasing company you haven't found a car yet. You like to extend the lease, and they'll extend you for a month. Some will extend you for 3. Some will extend you for up to 6. So if you got a really great payment and you're like, man, I know there's no chance that I got a 1% lease or less. And some of you have been following me, you know what a 1% lease is. Payment is under 1% of the MSRP, no money down. Then you don't want to get out of that early. You might want to extend that for 3 more months or 6 more months while you shop the market. But that's what you got to be aware of when these people are calling you, Sonia, and telling you come get out of your lease early. They want to roll those payments over and put you in a new deal. All right. Why can't dealers get you the best deal for your situation? That's not their job, Skinner. Their job is to make the most money possible and make you happy in the process. That's a conflict of interest. It's not to save you the most money and make you happy. So what you're doing is, if you treat, I talked about this in one of our last broadcasts. I said we got to move from, we don't want our car dealer to be our friend. And that doesn't mean we are not friendly, but we're going to make you compete for our business. Some of you have been dealing with brokers. I used to be a broker for 4 years. You're going to find out, I've told you, broker's money comes out of your deal. So whatever deal the broker got you, they don't work for free. So either they got money from you and pay, and this is when you really don't know, because you're giving control of your transaction to someone else. Sometimes people say, well, I didn't pay the broker anything. No problem. Whatever they made came out of your deal. So people don't work for free. Brokers get paid like dealers. So they might say, okay, we're making $3,000 on this deal. Give me 15, you keep 15. So that's $1,500 or $3,000 that maybe they didn't pass on to you. So you can't depend on someone who has total control of your transaction to be totally transparent with you. And sometimes some people might say, well, I paid the broker up front $500 or $700. They still have control, which means they might double dip and still take 500 or 1,000. Or because what a broker's trying to do, here's when you know you're dealing with a bad broker. Here's when you know you're dealing with a greedy broker, because some of you trust brokers way too much and you don't realize what you're giving away. When you're dealing with a greedy broker says, what can you pay? Just like a greedy car salesman. What can you pay? What's the most you could pay? Because what they're trying to do now is say, all right, if I can get you that deal, a dealership might say, all right, I got that customer you bringing me to $480 a month. But you, because you trusted the broker, you told them the most I could pay is $550. Now they say between $480 and $550, that's my profit. That $3,000 right there, because why would I come volunteer to you $480 when you told me you're okay with $550? But what a broker should do, if it's a legitimate broker and he's shopping offers for you, the way I'm teaching you, you can start your own brokerage, because I teach you how to shop multiple offers, get multiple offers, and then present the best ones to yourself or to whoever you're representing. So when I was brokering, I'm shopping multiple offers. I'm talking to multiple dealers and I'm saying, this deal is at this price, this deal is at this price. Here's the one that won. Now you pick the one that won and there's no markup there. It's just, I'm just connecting you to the one. You paid me when I was consulting, that's how I ran it. And I gave the customer a list of all the dealerships and all their offers. So there's no markup in there built in for me. There's no extra money built in for me. So the people who you're hiring to get you your best deal, they have a vested interest to make the most money they can. That's why I want you to trash that model, learn to shop the way I'm telling you to shop online, and you'll see I don't need those guys. I could get my best deal in 45 minutes sitting right in my living room. Does that make sense? All of this is what we talk about. This is all what I teach in my videos. This is what's in my book. If you guys don't know and you just jumped on, I have my book out. It's available. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's a digital book. Go get your copy now. It's 75% off for the next 30 minutes. In my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, or you could go to DeShansBook.com or scan the QR code on Facebook or Instagram. All right, let's keep it going. I told y'all I want to get through as many questions as possible today. Thank you to everybody that's sharing. I see we got about 400 people on here across all the platforms. Absolutely appreciate everybody being here, and tell all your friends about this channel. No matter where you're at, tell them Google Deshaun the Auto Advisor, follow him, whatever platform they're on. I try to be everywhere the people are. Hey, I'm stuck in a finance with 1 year left, but I want to get a new car. Should I lease or finance? Good question. Here's a simple question to ask yourself. I call this the most important question. This is the first step. How many years are you keeping your next car? Everybody answer that question for me who's car shopping now or in the next 12 months. How many years are you keeping your next car? Type it into the comments. Not how long. How many years is your goal to keep your next car? And then I'm going to tell y'all how we use this question to answer the leasing versus buying question. Because some of you are really wondering, could I get a better deal leasing or should I buy? Just like this gentleman just asked. I believe that was a guy. Okay. So I see 3 years, 10 years, 10 years-ish, 10 years, 3 years, 3, 5. Look at this. So I'm gonna give y'all what you need to do. As you come in, the question is, how many years are you keeping the next car you're shopping for? Every single car that you're shopping for, I want you guys to ask yourself this question. Now, here's what you do. I want you to look at your answer. If the answer is 8 or more, your best deal is going to be shopping for a purchase. Shopping for your best deal on a purchase. You don't have to wonder, could I have saved money leasing? If it's 8, 9, 10, or you don't have to worry about leasing. Now, I want you to ask your children that same question and your spouse, hey, let me ask you a question. How many years you think you're going to keep this car? College student, doesn't matter. Yeah, I think I'll probably keep it for like maybe 4 or 5 years, at least through college. It's very important. I call this in my book the most important question. If it's under 8, you lease. You should be shopping for an aggressive lease deal because you are going to pay so much less money and you're going to drive so much better. You're going to have so much better cars. Like the cars, the quality of what you drive is going to be so much better if you are a short-term person. Now, you might not consider 7 years to be short-term, but when you're purchasing a depreciating asset, that depreciating asset loses value for years. It keeps going down, and then it levels out where it's not losing that much value. Anytime you're replacing the car while it's dropping like this, that's the short-term period. Your goal is to get to the long-term period where the car is not losing much value anymore. Some of you who've had cars outside, look, answer this. If you've had a car in your driveway outside for the 8 years, isn't it worth about the same value it was 6 months ago? A year down the road, isn't it going to be worth about the same price it's worth now? If you've had it outside for 8 years, I'm talking to long-term vehicle purchasers. That's 5 years. Nope. 5 years, it's going to be pretty different. Value's going to, but 8, 9, 10-year people, you notice the car outside is worth about the same price. That's when you've won purchasing. So if that's not your goal to get to that, you should not be purchasing. You should be shopping your most aggressive lease offers to find a deal that's going to land you under 1.5%. Some of you know I talk about the 1% rule, the 1.5% rule to know when you're overpaying for a lease. And that's going to save you the most money. Hands down. Hands down. All right. Would keep them longer, but in the Northeast, salt kills cars. That's a fact. You got to take that into consideration. You got to take in your area. And you know, it's something you need to consider. Always great advice. Thank you. Appreciate you. You know, that's what we're here for. That's the mission. I appreciate it. All right, come on. Keep sending in the questions until I can't drive it anymore. There you go. That's the name of the game. But don't let that be 6, 7 years. And look, when you are long-term, when you're buying a car, every one of you who said 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, you need to make sure, aside from getting the best offer and make sure you get the best price on the car, you do that through competitive bids, multiple options, multiple offers. If you're using what I teach, seeing the whole market for the used car market, seeing, getting at least 5 offers on a new car. Once you do this, you need to make sure the car is going to last that long. Because sometimes we skip the quality choice. We skip the due diligence we need to do. And I'm going to teach y'all real quick how you do this in 5 minutes. You need to make sure the car is going to last, because some people will say, Deshaun, you know what, man? I wanted to keep the car 10 years, but the car started acting up. Transmission went out. But if you Google that year of car, you would see that the reports on Google, the independent sources, these websites, vehiclemotor.com, all of these different independent sources told you that about 80,000 miles, the transmission starts slipping. They told you that around this time, the vehicle has electrical problems. They told you, they're telling the public. So what we do is we Google, this is in step 4 in my process. I call shopping, not buying. Shopping is I'm deciding what I want. Part of deciding what I want is ruling out any cars that have problems. I could love a Maserati all day and I want to buy that. And I Google that year Maserati and I see this particular car here is going to be in the shop 3 times a year. Next. Many people are going to drive that car off the lot happy, but they're in for hell. So that little 5-minute step of quality control, checking the reliability, checking the longevity, you should be Googling the year of the car you want to buy, the name of the car, longevity. You put those 3 words in Google, look at what that first page says. That'll tell you if this car can confidently go 200 to 300,000 miles. That's what you need. All right. Let's go. For everybody that just jumped on, welcome. I do this car. This is called Insider Secrets to Below Market Car Deals, because that's all we care about. We're not paying market value. We certainly ain't talking about over market value. All we care about is below market car deals. So welcome. If you want to get everything that I teach in one place, I just released my book. It's a digital book. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. You can get your copy at 75% off. In the book, it's normally $97. It's a digital book with a lot of value, so I didn't want to price it at a normal book price. It's just worth a lot more than that. But you can get it for 75% off. Go to my TikTok bio. You won't pay the $97. Go to my Instagram bio. Get your copy for the next 30 minutes. Or go to DeShansBook.com, scan the QR code. Thank you. Tova said, I just bought the book. Enjoy it. Thank you. Use it. Please DM me or email me when you get your first deal and let me know. I want to see deals in my inbox, y'all. I don't want any of you guys DMing me saying, hey, I just got this car. Check it out. What do you think? No, I want you DMing me saying, look, I just got this car. I use your stuff. I got multiple offers. Look how much I saved. That's how I want to congratulate you. All right. Design. What if you put 60K miles a year on a car? Good question. So I assume you're doing this for business. Any super high mileage drivers on here, you're doing 40,000 miles a year and up. Let's say over 30. I would call that super high mileage. Anybody doing that kind of mileage, I'm not talking about 25, 20, that's a different strategy. That's in my book, and you're not, and that, I consider that a high mileage driver. I'm talking to you guys you basically are, this is Toro, this is rental car businesses, this is Uber. I'm living on the road and I'm making money on the car. If that's you, I don't want you to concern yourself with leasing because your lifestyle and your mileage is too unpredictable per year. You might do 40,000 one year, 60,000 the next year, 33,000 the third year. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to ask yourself the minute you get your car, if y'all don't realize what I'm good at, what I think I'm good at, is looking down the road and making sure that the plan that we're going to roll out not just works for us today, but we look down the road and say, man, that plan that car I got 3 years ago, I structured that thing right. Because cars, we know, who knows, cars will come back to bite you. Not when you buy them, later. I go to trade them in. Wow, I got $10,000 of negative equity. It was all good just when I bought the car, but now it's not. So I want you to ask yourself, when am I going to replace the car? That's what you have to ask yourself. You super high mileage drivers, you have to ask yourself, when am I going to replace the car? Now that might be 3 years, that might be 4 years. And whatever you determine that to be, that's the length, that is the maximum length of your loan. You do not take a loan longer than that, because at the point of replacement, your car is almost worthless because you're going to burn the heck out of it. It's going to have 250, 300,000 miles on it. It's going to be almost worthless. Not worthless, almost. So here's what you can't have: a year or 2 years left on your loan. This is what most high mileage drivers, super high mileage drivers deal with. They come in, they're ready to replace their car, still got a year or two left on the loan. They still owe 10 grand on the loan. Car's worth $3,000. They still got 2 years left on the loan. They owe 15 grand. Car's worth $3,000. If you've experienced this, be honest and type in and hit the like button. And I know because I've seen this so many times. So if you just take a shorter loan, 1 year shorter, 2 years shorter, yes, you're going to pay $150 more per month. But what you're doing is it's a business move. You're saying I'm going to take a little less monthly profit, but then at the end, I'm not going to have $10,000 or $12,000 or $15,000 of negative equity. That's your losses right there. You know what your losses are as a high mileage driver. It's in that negative equity because you done made this money for 2-3 years. It was all good. Oh, we out here making money. Now, when you go to get that next car, you're realizing your losses. All right, what you mean? Yeah, you're upside down 15 grand. So take the shorter loan. Ask yourself, when am I going to replace this car? When you say I'm going to replace it in 4 years, that's my maximum loan. 4. I cannot do it longer. So when I come to replace, my car's paid off. And here, now you have an asset. Now you have something that's worth $3,000 for your down payment. Or now you have something that's worth $3,000 that you can put in the bank and you get the next deal. If you do that, your high mileage, your super high mileage driving experience is going to be so good. And what I just talked to you about is a business conversation. That's business. That's good business. What you're doing when you push those losses to the back, bad business. All right, let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling, especially for Uber, Lyft drivers. There you go. That's who I was just talking to. So take that advice, Uber, Lyft drivers, anybody who got cars on the road and you got loans on them, that's how you do it. All right. Yep. It's about time to replace it. My bad. Wait, hold on. Let's go. Come on. We keep the questions going fast. I told you I wanted to get through as many as possible today. A very high mileage driver to work and back. There you go. That's fine. Now, if you have predictable mileage, very high mileage is not 18, 20, 25,000. I'll tell y'all, like, I'm talking about people who can't predict their mileage. If you know I drive an hour to work and back, I drive 25,000 miles a year. I'll tell you the story about this gentleman I met when I was a manager at Hyundai for a couple months. I was 6 weeks. That's all it took. And I said, no, that's not for me. Guy ended up going to jail, the owner of the dealership. And I said, no, thanks. Super highway dealership. But I had a chance to experience something that somebody like this, he was in sales and he was returning his lease on his Hyundai. Thank you. Shout out to everybody sending gifts. Shout out to everybody who got a book. I appreciate y'all supporting this broadcast. And shout out to the sharers, people who tag somebody, who've hit that share button. I appreciate it here. We can't do this mission without you guys. So this guy comes in, he's got almost 75,000 miles on his Hyundai. And I'm like, this is crazy. I said, you lease this? And he was like, yeah, I always lease. I never buy a car anymore. I was spending so much money buying these cars. And I said, wow, like, how does it work? He said, yeah, I got a 25,000 mile a year lease. I saw what he was paying. It was like $150, $200 more than a normal payment. I said, this is great. I said, this is incredible because I just told you all about the losses of people who buy their cars with with high mileage. He came in and said, all I do, I pay that extra money for the additional mileage. I bring that car back. Every 3 years, I get a brand new one. And he can see, part of being wise financially is being able to count your costs. You high mileage drivers, you lose so much money in these big losses, you can't count your costs, which is why you very rarely know how much you're actually losing on these cars. He knows I pay $590 a month for my Hyundai, 25,000 miles a year. I come in I know what my car costs me. There's no surprises at the end. There's no baggage at the end. I get a high mileage lease. And some of you, be honest, if you didn't know high mileage leases existed, type of question mark. Type of question mark if you didn't know. Some of you may have been taught leases only come with 10,000 miles per year. No, that's it. Look, a lot of people. Look, I didn't know. I told y'all I was surprised. I was surprised because I had never built out a high mileage lease up until that point. From then on, I started talking to my customers about it. But up to that point, up till I witnessed it, I never saw that before. And I was in the business. That's why I don't fault car salespeople when they come on here and they don't know what they're talking about. Because I know they didn't train us. Everything I learned, I had to get with very intelligent people, or I had to learn it myself. They don't teach car salespeople. So I want y'all trained. I want y'all to know how to move. That's why I put this book out, Car Shopping for People that Hate Car Shopping. Get it for 75% off. Go to my TikTok bio, go to my Instagram bio, scan the QR code and get your book. It's everything I teach in one place. Some of you are like, Deshaun, I like the live, but look, can I get everything in one spot, like step by step? Because y'all know how many videos I got on my pages, hundreds. So yes, every video I don't waste it, but you got to siphon through those and see, oh, this is for high mileage drivers. This is for cash buyers. This is for people who want to lease. This is for people with bad credit. And you trying to cycle through all of that. I'm sure some of you are going to get a little confused. That's what I want to avoid. All right. Can you please do a fast rundown of leasing or financing? Ali, it's a very simple thing. I asked people on here about 10 minutes ago, how long you're keeping your next car. If the answer is, we had everybody answer, if the answer is 8 years or more, you should be shopping for your best purchase deal. New car, used car. You're going to win with long-term ownership because you're going to outlive the depreciation of the car. If it's under 8 years, if it's 3 to 7, and we're going to talk about people who say 2, y'all losing tons of money. You got it. You shouldn't be 1 or 2. Something's wrong there. And, we'll talk about that maybe later. But most people said 3, 5, 6. If it's under 7, you should be shopping for your most aggressive lease. And you can't break the 1.5% rule. You can't go above 1.5% of the MSRP, no money down on your lease offers because you're overpaying for your lease. So you could have the right foundation, which means, Deshaun, all right, I know I'm a short-term person. I'm not keeping my car more than 8 years. I'm going to lease. But you could overpay for your lease too. So that's why you want to make sure you know the 1.5% rule, shop multiple offers, never one dealer. I like to get at least 5 offers. In my book, I teach something called the 25 to 5 strategy. I teach you how to connect with 25 dealers to get 5 quotes. We do this in about 20 minutes. The connecting with the dealers, 20 minutes, and we do it all by email. Now you could do it by phone if you want. But you must get 5 offers because that's the only way you're going to see for yourself how different the dealer's prices are. You have to make sure your lease is never above 1.5%, and you won't get your best lease deal until you get 5 offers from 5 independent dealerships. Okay, you can do it by phone. You can talk to a sales manager, or you can do it my way online. Just do it. All right. Is it best to listen? And you could fill it in. Somebody's asking, is it best to lease new electric or used? Leases are 99% used new cars. Very rarely. Sometimes you see sometimes Lexus try to do a used car lease. BMW try to do a used car lease. The reason why I don't like it is because, one, it's hard to shop those because every deal it has to be the right car. That's what I don't like about shopping these used car leases. It's very one-off thing. We'd have a car and we'd be like, hey, this one qualifies for a lease program, but you can't shop the offer to even know, is it a good deal or not? 99.9% of leases, brand new cars. Or a demo, which means somebody used it in a dealership, drove it a couple thousand miles, but it can still be leased. All right. Do the steps in the book still apply if you have to lease a vehicle out of state? I'm not going to say most. Because we're connecting with 25 dealers, Kicks, we're usually getting deals out of state. I mean, we're certainly talking to dealers out of state and getting offers from them. And sometimes it's going to surprise you. Sometimes your closest dealer is the most expensive or is in that list of being the most expensive, or they want to make it hard. Sometimes a dealer 45 minutes away will be the one to blow everybody's deal away that's close to you. So certainly. High mileage commuters, lease or buy. We already had that conversation. Let me actually add something to that. I have 3 strategies that I teach on high mileage driving. 1 is for the long-term person, 2 for the short term. Now, from being on here the last couple minutes, and some of you, you've been learning from me long enough to know short term is under 7 years. Under 8, really. If you're short term and a high mileage driver, there's 2 strategies for you. If you're long term, just get a good car that's going to last. Get your best deal, keep the car, 8, 9, 10 years, you'll outlive the depreciation, and then you'll be fine. There's nothing wrong with You're just not gonna. You're gonna be the person who drives the same car. It's like that guy who. If I bought a car and I put 30,000 miles on it every year, but I kept it 10 years, that's 300,000 miles. Sure, I might put a new transmission in there. I might put a used engine in there. But overall, oh man, the money I'm paying for this car is great. I bought it 10 years ago. I done put a ton of miles on it. I got my money out of it. No, it's not worth anything to anybody else. Like, I used it all up. So long-term people, you could be a high mileage driver. Forget about leasing. Short-term people, under 8 years, you're the one who you want to have leasing as part of your strategy. You either want to do a high mileage lease to avoid this negative equity and these high prices y'all are paying, or you want to do a strategy I call 2 cars, 1 payment, where you buy your first car, or if you have a car already, you keep that, you pay it off, and then you go lease your nice car. Because some of you are like, Deshaun, I'm a short-term person. I want to switch things up. I don't want to just be putting, 200, 300,000 miles on a car. So now what you're doing is you're keeping your mileage car. It's paid off. And you're leasing your nice car. So you got your nice car and then you split it. So if I was doing 30,000 miles a year, but I wanted to have a nice car, I'm a short-term person, I'm going to have my mileage car, and then I'm going to lease another car for like 12,000, maybe 15,000 a year. And then I'll split the mileage between the nice car and the mileage car. And I still have 1 car payment. So it's super manageable. Super manageable. Those are the 2 high mileage short-term strategies, both in the book. But you can apply this yourself. This is just, again, get it wherever you need it. If you can take the lives and take it and use it, use it. Go get your cars. For those of you who want to have the manual, get the book. It's okay. Either way, I'm not holding back anything. I'm going to give you the information. I'm going to give it to you on my social media videos, 60 seconds. So that's all I really got. I give it to you on this live, detailed as possible. Some of you like, man, I can't remember all this. Watch the replay of the live or go get the book. No matter what, get the information. Don't let this go into your head and then slip away. And now you're back doing the old stuff that you used to do that's costing you thousands of dollars. All right. Is there a way to find out what the deal is called? And all the new people that just jumped on, the book is 75% off for 30 minutes. TikTok bio, Instagram bio. You can download it immediately. Digital book. And I update the book. So you guys don't have to worry, because some of this stuff does change. Rarely though, because the car business is so old. But example, Vroom went out of business. Vroom was in our book because we used to sell our car. We used to have them bid for our cars. And when we shop for a used car, they were in the runnings. They were one of the marketplaces. We had to delete them because they're out of business as of January. So if I had 100,000 books in print, now you're sitting there with a book that's no longer applicable. Like, dang, Deshaun, the book was good last year. But now a couple of things out with a digital book, all we do is update it. We send you guys out the new file. In fact, we don't even send you out the new file. We update the file. So the next time you open the book, it's the new one. We keep you ahead. I want you ahead. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody just got the book. Thank you so much. Let's go. Let's keep the questions rolling. Should I roll in 10,000 of negative equity into a new lease due to high mileage? I would be. Certainly I would. Most times you're going to bury and now here's what you don't want to do. Don't take a 4-year lease. I know when you are, and I've buried a lot of negative equity in leases, and I've helped people bury a lot of negative equity because they come in and when I was in the dealership, throughout the years, people would come in and they got 8,000, 7,000, 10,000 negative equity. And what I would do is I show them the 3-year payment. I show them the 4-year payment. And the 4 year is definitely more attractive. There's no doubt about it. Because depending on the negative equity, you're now paying that off in a 3-year period if you roll it into a lease. But the thing is, when the lease is over, the negative equity is gone. And the thing about negative equity is you're already in a car that's not worth what you're driving. I mean, what you owe. So you're already in a car. What's that car? Let's switch you out of that car. Let's get you in a better car. So if you're going to be in a car that's not worth what you're paying, be in a better car and be in a situation where this is going to end soon. So that's the thing. The damage is already done. It's just, do I want to drive a used car and be carrying 10 grand of baggage? Or do I want to get myself in a new financial structure where, yes, I got $10,000 of baggage in this too, but I'm paying it off over 3 years, and when the lease is up, I'm done. So I would look at a 39-month lease at the longest, because you don't want to be in a 4-year lease because you're just paying too long. You're paying too long. So I would really try to move, but you got to realize with 10 grand of negative equity, you got to lease a car that's probably about 50 grand. Don't be scared because you don't know what those payments are going to be. Give you an example. Like if you lease like I think I got somebody who got a Jeep. Who got a Jeep? No, that's Kimberly Maserati. All right, let's just take this for an example. All right, so this is Greg. You guys can't see it on TikTok, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm putting a picture up of Greg. Greg got a $56,000 Kia EV6. It's an electric vehicle, SUV. $56,000. He got a 0.9% lease. It's a steal, under 1%. His payment's $527. You can't put 10 grand of negative equity on a $20,000 car because you're going to go above the bank's loan to value limits. They're not going to approve it. You could have 800, you could have 900 credit. It's above the loan to value. So you need a car where they can slap 10 grand on top of the price and the bank still approves it. And in order to do that, they'll usually only approve about 20%, maybe 25% of the price of the vehicle. So you're going to need about a 50. You're going to want to shop for about a $50,000 car. But if you get yourself to this and then you slap your negative equity on there, you should still be manageable. But the key is you got to find the right car. You got to shop for a car where they could take off a lot of money. Jeep, try Jeep Grand Cherokee. You got to shop for the right car, and it has to be in the right price range for you to be able to move that negative equity over. Is there a way to find out what the dealer's cost on a vehicle is? Barry, that doesn't matter because the dealer's cost may not dictate your best deal. Hold on. Dealer's cost, see, all right, you got rebates, you got unadvertised things. Dealer's cost doesn't mean that that's the best offer. I don't care what the cost is. I care about who wins the bid. See, if you go back and forth with one person, then yeah, they'll show you, hey, this is my cost. I'm charging you, X amount over it or whatever. No, we get bids. This stuff doesn't matter because knowing the dealer's cost is not going to determine, is not going to help you when a dealer wins a bid, the way we get, when you guys start actually making dealers bid for your business and talking, you're going to see that the only thing that matters is who wins the bid. There's no other way for me to put it. Because the same person who, if I knew your cost, that don't mean you would win the bid. That don't mean you would be willing to sell the car to me at the lowest price compared to your competition. One-to-one negotiations is not the way. That's all stuff we used to have to try to worry about when we were doing one-on-one negotiations. What's the cost? What's the invoice price? Give me the money factor, give me the rate, give me the residual. Let me work it out on my finance calculator. We're converting the money factor to an interest rate, multiplying it by 2,400. All right, all of this stuff, I'm still sitting over here armed. I got rebates you don't know about. I got stuff over here you don't know about. So you could do your little math. It's not going to help you guarantee your best deal. What guarantees your best deal is you let me get a bid for your business, and then you have 4 of my competitors bid for your business. And that's easy. That's easy. Y'all are going to save so much more money because I would put myself against anyone in the world. If I had to go car shop and they said, all right, we're going to pick 5 people to car shop and, in the world, these are the best car shoppers in the world. Anybody I trained would be just like me, carbon copies, because you're going to do it the same way I do it. Anybody who's trying to do this one-on-one negotiation, I'll get that price from whom? So whatever price you would have gotten, thanks, Peyton, whatever price you would have gotten by being in that dealership for 2 hours, 5 hours, coming back 3 days in a row. All right, come on, give me another. I'm going to get that price sitting right here. I'm going to get that price right here, but I'm going to get 4 other prices while I'm right here. Bidding. You'll never feel in control until you start using this stuff. Your next car deal, use this stuff. You'll be like, man, I never had more control over my deal. I'm looking to lease a Tesla, but I'm scared because they're hard to shop. Tesla doesn't adjust pricing, so there's no bidding on the price. What you need to do is make sure whatever they're selling the car for, the lease is under 1.5%. You don't bid for the price because the price is set. The reason we bid for every other car is the price is not set. It's not like every car. If I went to if there's 900 Honda dealers, 900 Honda dealers will sell a Honda Accord at a different price. Tesla's not like that. Every Tesla gallery, when you order it, it's the same price. I don't care if they say Costco price, doesn't matter. Some dealers are not going to give you the Costco price. Some people say, oh, when Amazon starts up, doesn't matter. Doesn't mean Amazon. No company can be the lowest price all the time, or they're going out of business. If every single time, if you and I both sell the same exact product, our costs are exactly the same, I can't be the lowest price every time. I'm going to be out of business. So yes, I'm going to be outselling you, but I'm going to be out of business because I ain't making no money. So sometimes I'm going to win. Sometimes you're going to win. Sometimes this over here, this competitor is going to win because we all are at different times looking to make a deal. So that's why bidding is important. But when in the case of Tesla, brand new Teslas, not used ones, the price is set. There's no need to bid. But there is a need to make sure their lease program isn't bad, which means if my lease is over 1.5%, no money down, 12,000 miles per year, just giving you my first month's payment, that's how I want to see the offer. I might put money down later, but I need to see the offer. If that's more than 1.5%, it's a bad lease program. Next, I'll lease another. It won't be a Tesla, not this year. Maybe 3 years. Maybe in 3 years we'll come, y'all adjust your stuff. But I'm not paying an overpriced lease. One of the biggest benefits of leasing is the value, what you get to drive for the money you're paying. And the lower that percentage is, the more value there is. Once it's over 1.5%, no value in leasing it. All right, let's go. All right, this is great. Do you have a link in your book here? I don't see it. Yes, it's on DeShaunsBook.com, or you can scan the QR code. Or if you're on Instagram, go to my Instagram bio. You won't leave the broadcast. So if you click the picture of me, double click it, you'll see a website link. Same thing with TikTok, because the book is 75% off for 30 minutes. So once that timer runs, it goes back up to $97 once the timer runs out. All right. So get your book for 75% off and enjoy it. How do I purchase your book? Just click the picture of me on TikTok. Go right to my TikTok bio. You'll see a website link. When you click that link, you'll see get my new book for 75% off. Okay, credit bad, but want to get into a car. I would go to lease. If my credit was bad, if I'm 550, if I'm 580 and I need to get in a car, I'm going super inexpensive. Unless I'm a long-term person. Now watch this. This is why you're always going to see the most important question is always the short and long-term question. That's why in my book is 7 steps. The first step is the most important question. How many years are we keeping this car? That is the most important question because it's the foundation. Once you know your foundation, now we could go and get the strategy. Now we can go and get it. But the foundation is a purchase or a lease. If you choose wrong there, the rest of the deal is crap. Doesn't matter the price of the car. If you choose wrong on the foundation, you're lost, because the foundation of a purchase leads you to a long-term benefit where the depreciation cools off. 8 years later, you're winning. 9 years, 10 years, you won. If the foundation of a lease is I'm a short-term person, so I'm only going to put a small amount of money into these cars, and I'm going to drive brand new cars that are reliable. I'm not dealing with the long-term hassle, and I don't have all this money coming out of my pocket. You can't mix those two. That's why we don't lease and then buy them. That's why we don't take out loans and then trade them. We're going to stop doing that. You're a short-term person. You should be leasing. So if I have bad credit, but I'm a long-term person. Let's say, Deshaun, I got bad credit, but I want to keep this car 10 years. No problem. You buy the vehicle you want. Make sure you shop aggressively for it, like I'm teaching you this whole broadcast. It's in my book too. And you could always refinance the loan. See, if you don't overpay for the car, if you get a good car, but you got a high interest rate, no problem, because an interest rate can be fixed. A year down the road, 2 years down the road, yeah, you might be paying 20%, but you improved your credit. Now you can refinance. Now, if you got a bad car, sometimes people with bad credit, you go out and get a bad car. You don't want to have a bad loan and a bad car. That's trouble. Bad loan, bad car equals financial nightmare. Good car, high interest rate, bad loan, no problem, because I can fix this. My credit's 690 now. I'm going to refinance this. Yeah, it was 550 2 years ago. Now I'm at 700. I'm going to refinance that loan and I'll keep it like that. But I'm going to keep this car. I'm keeping this car. I'm just going to switch the loan on it. If you're not a long-term person, though, that's not your strategy. You see how different it is? Do y'all see how the long-term versus the short-term affects the strategy? Y'all see that? Everybody clear on that? I'm going deep on these two scenarios every time to show you how different it is being a long-term person, having that strategy, and why this is the foundation of your car deals, long versus short-term. All right, here's the answer, because the state will own the vehicle in truth, not the consumer. I don't know what you're talking about with that. Maybe I missed what y'all were talking about. Let's go. All right, read my question I've asked and you never answered. All right, listen, watch it, man. Watch it. Watch it. I don't like that type of stuff, bro. I don't like that type of stuff, bro. You see how many people on here? Don't come on here talking with any type of entitled energy, please. All right. Matter of fact, get him out of here. Get him out of here, man. See, I'm a nice guy. What I don't like, I don't like that. I just can't describe it. So I ain't gonna give him no more than what I gave him. Do you have a link to your book here? All right, we saw that. I'm interested to know as well. I didn't see that. What's the 1.5%? 1.5% is, we judge a lease by a percentage. When you get a lease quote, let me show y'all this. Let me see if I can share my screen, and we'll do this to give you a clear understanding. If I could share my screen so y'all can see a calculator. Let me see. All right, boom. Window, entire screen. All right, check this out. So if I go here and I type in, let me open my calculator. Can everybody, I know y'all can't see it on TikTok. Please subscribe on YouTube so you can see this stuff. But I'm gonna break it down for you, okay? YouTube, Facebook, I can present the screen. TikTok doesn't allow it. So I open this calculator up, boom, right? Now here's what happens. MSR, when we're shopping for a lease, the two most important things that we care about, forget fees, forget anything. We're getting multiple offers, and this is what we care about. MSRP and monthly payment. No money down. You're going to see all we do is shop with total out of pocket is first month payment, 12,000 miles per year. So let's just say somebody gives us an offer of $500 a month, and then we confirm what the MSRP is. We always get the MSRP, and we divide that into the MSRP. So let's say the MSRP is 45,000. That's going to give us, we multiply this by 100. That's a 1.1% lease. That's a 1.1% lease. So when we are looking at lease offers, that's how we compare them. That's how we can easily compare 4, 5, 6, 10 offers, and we'll know exactly which one is the best. One dealer says your payment's $450 and the car is $42,000, $569. Okay, that's 1.05%. All right. Another dealer says, all right, your payment's $600 and the MSRP is $41,598. Okay, that's 1.44%. That's a higher offer. Another dealer says, all right, your payment is $720 and the MSRP is 42,544. Perfect. That's 1.69%. That's the only one over 1.5. When you do it like this, what you're able to do is you're able to see quickly who's making you the best offer, because every single price car we get when we're shopping for a new car, it's different. So in order for us to go with we need to be able to look at, you saw those scenarios. That's how offers come. MSRP is different because this car has $320. This car has wheel locks on it for another $90. This car has this option on it for $290. We're not looking at cars that have the exact same MSRP. So when they submit offers to us, all we're doing is we're taking the monthly payment, dividing it into the MSRP. That tells us percentage-wise who gave us the biggest discount. That's why we're able to move so quick and make these deals the way we make them. We're able to quickly analyze and we pick the best offer. Now, we always counter offer. In my book, I have this calculator that I use. We plug in all the offers and it spits out the counter offers. But that's the that's where the 1.5% rule is something that I made up because I did the math of when you paid too much for a lease. The whole goal with a lease, well, not the whole goal, there's many, but one of the biggest goals is to avoid the depreciation that you would take if you purchased the car. If I would have lost this much if I purchased the car, the goal is to lose this much leasing. But once I get to about over 1.5%, now I'm getting to the point where I'm equal or even more than I would have lost had I purchased. That's why there has to be a threshold. And I said to myself, there's many people under the 1% rule. I would say if you talk to anybody who knows about getting great lease deals, who's been getting great lease deals like for the last 20 years, they're probably familiar with the 1% rule. I don't even know if it was called the 1% rule, but it was, 1%. If your payment was 1% of the MSRP or less, it was a steal. Like, it was a steal. This is not a deal. This is a steal. Like me, I had a $36,000. I had a $36,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. I leased in 2018. My payment was $330 a month. Literally gave them $330 and I got out of there. 39-month lease. So that was under 1%. The Infinities I had, every lease I've had up until this point was under 1%. Steals, no question. The money we're paying for these cars is pennies compared to anything else. But I noticed there was no rule for people overpaying. So yeah, we all know about this extreme, which is, Dad, you did so good on this. I can't believe that's what you're paying. But there was a ton of people in leases who didn't realize they had passed the other extreme, which is, Dad, I overpaid for this lease. So that's why we had to create the 1.5% rule. So love it. Everyone who just jumped on, this is great. I'm really enjoying today's show. I hope you are too. If you're enjoying today's show, could you type a 1 in the chat? I'm really enjoying this. I told y'all at the beginning, my goal was just get through question. And that's what I'm going to try to do. Sometimes I want to come in and I want to do a little bit more teaching on a specific subject. But sometimes I really want to come in and just do question. Oh, absolutely. That's in my book. Everything that y'all will hear me, I'm teaching from my book. Somebody just said, is that 1% thing in your book? I teach from my book. So thank you. I make video. When you look at my social media, a lot of y'all are going to be reading my book. If you watched any of my social media videos, you'll be reading the book, using it, and you'll be like, dang, I remember he made the video on this. Or I remember he said this in the video. So my videos, this show, everything you'll ever see, it's coming from my book. But like I said, if you want it in one spot, 75% off, for our official release, you can get it for 75% off. Download it now, and you will get free updates. I don't know how long we'll be able to do free updates. I'm guessing as long as we can connect and stay connected and the industry changes, we'll probably continue to do. One day we will build software, and we're already working on building software and apps and platforms that will do a lot of this stuff for you. But until that day when we have totally automated everything, then yes, we're going to keep updating the book if there's any new things or new tools or new calculators that we end up inventing. So get your book, enjoy it, use it. Thank you so much. Anybody who didn't receive the book, it's usually an email issue. I can tell you this: we deliver lots of these books. So if you don't get it in 10 minutes, like I said, on that purchase, after you purchase it, you'll see the support email. Or I don't really, it's too many DMs. So that's why when you purchase, I say, if you don't receive your book, email this support and my team will get you the book, because it's usually one letter's changed. The N came in there instead of an N. But anyway, if you check your spam, it'll be there. If not, just contact us and we'll make sure we get it. But it's usually just people see that timer and they're typing a little fast and one letter's a little off, and that throws it off from being able to deliver it to you. Hey, Paul. No, I don't have. I get results for people. I get results for groups. He said, "Can I work with you one-on-one?" I appreciate it. I get results for groups. If I didn't think I can, I've been getting results for groups since 2021. When I came into this industry, I said to myself, God, if you will allow me to set things up where I can get results for lots of people at once, that will help this mission. It's too many people that need help to do this one-on-one thing. So I help groups of people at once, hundreds of people at once, dozens of people at once. And, and that's what I do. I do it through my book. We also have we have a video library called Cars from Home University, and I coach people in Cars from Home University. So my goal is just put the information out, give people every single option of how they want it, and then let you choose. Some people say, oh, I want to go through all the free videos, and I'll find it, piece it together. God bless you, do that. Some people say, I want it all in one spot. Deshaun, I'm going to go to your bio. I'm going to get my book 75% off. Download it, use it. God bless you, get it. Some people want to work with us in Cars from Home in the video library. God bless you, do it. Doesn't matter. We just want to make sure you have the information. Some people like, Deshaun, I come on the live shows. You said something on the show. I used that and I won. God bless you, do it. So welcome. I appreciate all the new people. Before I jump off, I just want to say, get your book. If you want everything I teach in one spot, click my TikTok bio, click my Instagram bio, click that website and get that link for 75% off, or scan the QR code, go to Deshaun'sBook.com. All right. Samson, see, all right, man, see, this is the stuff I don't know how to, hey, why aren't you answering the questions on YouTube? I'm answering all the questions I can. Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? You see me, we on 4 platforms at once. You get what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff that, see, it's not much that get under my skin, man, but I don't like, because you should be saying to yourself, man, I know this dude on 4 platforms, man. He got like 400 people between all these platforms. He trying to answer all these questions. Don't ask me crazy questions like why you not answering the questions on YouTube. Because that's the only stuff, man, y'all see. I got real thick skin, but I have a very low tolerance for entitlement. I don't owe you nothing, bro. I'm trying to. You can't benefit from everything you've heard so far. You ain't paid me nothing. You don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta be better. I gotta be better. Is it better to put down more on a lease or just what the payment would be? I understand how you get to your figure on the payment. I do appreciate the info on that. So here's the thing: if you can get to the payment, if you can get, when you shop your lease offers, if you can get to your deal under 1.5% or whatever it is with no money out of pocket, take that deal. Now, sometimes, let's say you're shopping for a heavy car, $50,000 car, $75,000, $100,000 car. Now you get that under 1.5% offer, but then you look and say, man, this is a great deal. See, pay attention, no down payment. You got to be able to, you're going to be able to look at the deal and say, man, great deal. Forget the payment. You're going to say, man, this 1.2%, great deal. Payment might be 900 because it's a Maserati. All right, you know what? I want to lower that to like 800. I'm gonna put down 5,000. I'm gonna put down 4,000. So you're not buying your deal. A lot of people you've been taught, they got you buying your deals and you leave thinking, man, I got to my payment, but you only got to your payment because you put $4,000 down. You got to know what the deal is. You got to know this is a great deal before I even put my money down. So once you do that shopping, Scott, you're now just trying to manage your payment. But if you could, I have many people, most people that I would say most people, they're shopping their leases. That best offer with just first month's payment, they take that, or they might put a little bit, throw $1,000 in. But you got to know the two risks of down payments on leases. If the car is totaled, you don't get the down payment back. If the car is stolen and not found, you don't get the down payment back. So here's what you got to ask yourself before you ever put money down on a lease. What's the likelihood this car will be stolen? How many cars have I had stolen? This is how you assess your risk. Now, if you say to yourself, man, I never even had a car stolen before. Good, check that box. It's not that risky for you to put money down. Second question, what's the likelihood this car could be totaled? Now, if you're looking at a big Mercedes S-Class or a big Jeep Grand Cherokee SUV, not likely. Check, I could put money down. I've lowered my risk. Not really a high chance it's going to be stolen. Not really a high chance this is going to be totaled. Money down, I'll do it. You might be looking at that second question and you're like, man, what's the likelihood this car could be totaled? And you're looking at a Hyundai Elantra, a little small compact car. It's probably not that hard. I get into an accident with that, car's totaled. So I don't want a higher risk of putting money down on that. So that's how you assess it's nothing wrong with putting money down on a lease after you've assessed your risk. You've asked yourself those two questions. That's also in my book. So I know people ask, because that was a great question, is what you just laid out in your book. Everything I talk about is in my book. So is Accurate MDX 2022 reliable? That's a question for Google. Don't ask people there. Look, you do what you want because everyone on here is an adult. I would recommend you don't ask people their opinions on cars because people's opinions are subjective. You want to go to where the data is because 100,000 of those cars are on the road, most likely 10,000, 50,000. And what you want to do is we Google those things. We Google 2022, what you just asked me, Acura MDX 2022 reliability. And you just skim that first page of articles. You look at those articles, don't go to anything on a dealer's page. Go to those independent articles. They'll tell you electrical issues. They'll tell you engine problems. They'll tell you owners complaining. You'll see all of that on the first page. Then you type in Acura MDX 2022. You always have to put the year in because we know sometimes there's a good year and then they make and sometimes there's a bad year that has problems. They make all the adjustments and the next year is a good one. So you always want to put the specific year in, but you type in Acura 2022 MDX longevity. That's going to tell you about what are people who have the vehicle and who have studied the vehicle for the long term saying about it. You check those two things, that's how you find out. Don't ask your neighbor, hey, what you think about that Maserati? Man, I love it. It's my favorite car. You get yours, that junk in the shop in 90 days. You know what I'm saying? So go where the data is. All right. Well, we've been on here for an hour and 44. I would do some more. I'm gonna come back later. So if y'all do see a notification that I'm live later, please jump on. Just when you see them, if you're on our email list, which means you got our cheat sheet, you can go to Deshaun'sCheatSheets.com. If you're on our email list, you'll get the notifications. We're gonna start next week sending out notifications of when we're live. But this is the kind of stuff I like. I like to do straight up Q&A fast. Thank you, Dwayne. Appreciate you, bro. I just joined. You may have answered this question. Oh, yeah, because we'll go into, I think we've been on here for an hour and 45 minutes already or something like that. And we'll just keep going longer. But I will be back for another session. Just jump on, bring your questions. For those of you who got the book, I appreciate it. And use it, dig in immediately. Make sure you email me your success story. 75% off my new book. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. We should not be in dealerships more than 30 minutes. I know that sounds crazy to some of y'all. How the heck am I going to save thousands of dollars, Deshaun, without being in a dealership more than 30 minutes? That's what we do. It's called bidding. It's called getting bids. We don't fight one person for deals anymore. So that's what the entire book is about. That's what all my videos about. That's what this whole show was about today. So you can get your copy for 75% off for the next 30 minutes. Go to my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio, click that website, and then click the button that says 75% off my new book. If you're on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, you can scan the QR code with your camera or go to Deshaun'sBook.com. And let's save this money, y'all. I want y'all writing me about the money you save. Yes, I want to hear about your new cars when you get them. DM me, send me the picture. But before you send me the picture of the car, send me the picture of the price you paid. All right? That's what I want y'all to have. All right? I'll see y'all on the next broadcast. All right? This was a good one, though. Thank y'all.